Hey guys, how's it going? So today I'm going to finish up my memory game of the recap of what happened in the fall semester of 2017. So we're going to start off with what happened on November 28th. On that particular day, my business class was canceled because the 21st was the last day for business class, basically. So I just stayed home. I think I played some Commando 2 that day. Uh, for lunch, I rode my skateboard to get fish and chips. Um and then I rode my skateboard back. That was the longest trip I ever rode in a skateboard. I'm not that good at skateboarding. Um I kind of slacked off that day. My dad got a little angry at me when I went home, because later that night because there was this computer assignment I just had no clue how to do. I started falling behind in computer science on I would say around early November when it was translating to the JavaScript. Like I could do HTML and CSS perfectly. Yeah, yeah. But we were eventually able to get it done. I don't remember what the assignment was, but I remember that we were able to get it done. On November the 29th, I told my English teacher, so basically I handed in the assignment 49 minutes late. I did it online, but then because it was like my first semester, she was merciful and she gave me a slide. So I was able to so I wasn't docked points for being late. But my habits have changed completely now. Then yeah, so she told my TA and that got cleared up. Uh, After English class, I took the bus and SkyTrain to Surrey. For lunch, I remember I wanted to get calamari and clam chowder, but I felt there was something in the back of my head, like that was uncomfortable with just ordering snacks at a restaurant for a lunch. So I ended up getting these ribs with the clam chowder. The ribs were not that great, honestly, though. On the way back, for some reason, my Compass card couldn't process. So when I took the SkyTrain back to my school, so I called my dad, who worked near the SkyTrain station, to basically come help me. This was at 1:43 p.m. Yes, and he showed up 7 minutes later because it's relatively close to the SkyTrain station and where he works. And then he did something. I don't remember what he did, but I was able to get on basically. So yeah, then things got worked there. I don't remember what happened for the rest of the day. On November 30th, oh yeah, on November 30th, my mom wanted me to wake up at 8:30, but being the lazy pig that I am, I woke up at 9:30. And yeah, I went to school and then did some church activities with my friends. Um, I didn't have school class on Thursdays. Then afterwards, I don't remember anything else other than at nighttime I showed my mom how to graph graph a function using calculus. And I remember using y equals something. It was a polynomial and such. And she seemed genuinely impressed. Anyways, on Friday, December 1st, 2017, I had agreed to meet with my dad for lunch at the Surrey station. So I went there after for my math class, and then we ate it was the last, I remember it was the last restaurant that that was in the Surrey area close to where I was taking classes. And like we originally wanted to eat sushi for a second time, but I insisted on doing something different. So we had, I think it was dim sum, like it was a Chinese restaurant. I think we had crab, but I can't remember now. Um, when it was delicious. And by the time we were done, my dad realized he forgot his credit card. And this was funny because when I was seven, my dad also forgot his credit card after we finished eating at the buffet, but he didn't want to dine and dash. So he left me there as collateral so he could go and get his credit card. So like I was 18 years old, so he couldn't do that. But luckily I brought my debit card and I paid. And I don't remember if he reimbursed me later, but I don't care. So then math class, nothing interesting. Not that any of this is interesting, but yeah, computer class, no, nothing. I had to go to bed early that night because the following day on December 2nd was a business annual case competition where like people taking introductory business had to go present their case. Yeah, so on December 2nd, I woke up, I can't remember what time, but it was definitely before 8:30. Got dressed and met with my teammates. We practiced a little bit, then we met with the people. All I remember from that case right now was like me saying something, and then like one of the interviewers, like who were analyzing the case, was like, but is that legal? And then I'm like, I said something along the lines of, I don't care. And then the second interviewer was like, so you're saying it's okay to break the law? And then I'm like, no, that's not what I was trying to say. And then I remember at the end, they were like, yeah, Brent, you did a really good job, except your message was kind of conveyed weirdly. Like I was getting really worried there for a second that you were gonna break the law, basically, but no. Nothing interesting for the rest of the day happened. On December 3rd, I woke up at 9. This is mentioned later, but I was encouraged to wake up at around 8 or 8:30 in the future times. My parents emphasized on how A students like to wake up at really early. They only get 6 or 7 hours of sleep, which I'm not entirely sure is true, and I'm not convinced at all is true. I'll talk more about it. Something similar like this happened 2 weeks later, so let's just keep going on with the rest of the storyline. So on Monday, December the 4th, it was a sunny day. It was a nice and sunny day. I decided that comparing to what I had for lunch last Wednesday, I decided to go to White Spot again. It was the last day of the classes for that semester. And I was thinking, okay, you know what? I don't want ribs at White Spot. I'm gonna get the calamari and the clam chowder. So I had it, it was delicious. The bill came to $17.30 with tax and such, and I gave a tip of $1.20. I didn't know you had to give like at least 10 to 15% tip, but yeah, I gave, so that I paid an $18.50 total. I made 2 friends. One of them was Isaac, and we are still great friends to this day. I met him at a church January of this year, but I didn't know that I would meet with him eventually. And another friend named Jaden, and we sat together for our math class. I reviewed Jaden's midterm, and then one of his midterms, and then showed him how he could do better on it. He told me he worked at McDonald's. This was just small talk. Yeah, there was nothing really about Isaac that was worth mentioning. So yeah, and then when we got back, I got back from my math class. I talked to my English TA, Leah, and then I was like, she seemed really happy to see me. I guess it was because she was relieved that I wasn't slacking off and I actually did hand in my assignments. So like, she seemed kind of gloomy before that particular final tutorial because I think she thought I skipped out on one of my assignments, but no, she seemed really happy. She's like, it was really great seeing you and such. And yeah, no, it was pretty good. Then on Tuesday, December 5th, nothing interesting happened other than I studied for my business final exam, which was on Thursday. On Wednesday, December the 6th, I studied for my business final exam. My parents were a little skeptical about me going to work at Kumon at 3:30 to 8 because I guess they thought it would take up valuable studying time. But at that point, like my heart's really wasn't in memorization. On December 7th, I had my final exam. It was at 7 to 10 p.m. But apparently we only got 2 hours and 10 minutes to write the exam. I arrived at 6:40. We settled around, we were supposed to get in at 7. We started the exam at 7:20 and we ended at 9:30. My dad gave me a ride home and I played a flash game called Commando 3 for the rest of the night, basically. On December the 8th, the morning, it was a sunny day. Yeah, it was the sunny day on December the 8th, 2017. Don't exactly, I don't remember what I did other than I studied for multivariable calculus, which I thought was really strange to put in a Calculus 1 course. And then I was learning where the maximum and minimum points were for a multivariable function for X and Y. I don't remember the technique right now, but I'll go back and study it. And then, yeah, nothing happened on the 9th. And then on December the 10th, my dad drove me to Surrey so I could take my math exam. I ended up getting a 73 out of 79 on that final. The only question I missed was something about continuity at negative infinity to infinity. I think it was the wording that threw me off. It was a sunny day on the December 10th. Yeah. And then my English final exam was in 2 days. So I was like, I fell behind on a few readings. So then I'm like, you know what? I said to myself, do what you can. And I basically just I had this principle at that point. I don't recommend you guys to not do all your readings, but I'm like, quality over quantity. I prefer quality. So I chose the readings that I understood the most and had the most emphasis basically on what was going on. And it was an English writing course. I think you just apply some skills you learn in class. And I basically just I basically said, you know what, I'm just gonna write a bunch of words, apply. It's better to have things on an exam paper than not. So I did that for the 10th and the 11th. On Tuesday, December the 12th, I took the exam. I remember I was able to write everything down. And I even applied concepts in stories on the stories that were being tested that weren't directly taught in class. And then, and I was able to answer all of the questions. A week later, I found I got 66.5%, but we'll talk about that later. On Wednesday, December 3rd, no, so I got back home on the 12th. Yeah, I got back home around 3:40 and I played a few games because, I always give myself a few hours to a day of relaxation whenever I finish an exam, unless the exams are really tightly combined together. So basically, then I was like, I only have one final exam left. Computer course, my web development computer course, which was on Saturday at 8:30 in the morning. So what happened then was basically I played a few games. I decided to start studying on computer stuff. I would say on the 12th, December 12th, was the day I was finally able to start catching up on my web development course. So I started reading more. I started all the things that my dad helped me out with, all the assignments, I decided to recreate from memory. And it was hard, but I think I got a few points. I did the same thing on the 13th. On the 14th, my dad came up with a really creative way to help me. He drew a chart and then made me visualize the steps of creating a code for a particular assignment. I started to get more knowledgeable on the 14th. On Friday, December 15th, I whatchamacallit? Yeah, I woke up at 9:15 and my mom was like, oh, you didn't wake up at 8:30 again. But she said it in a playful way, not in an angry tone. And I studied in the morning. After after lunch, I realized that two of my grades, final grades, math and business, were available. I got an A+ in Calculus 1 and a C+ in Introductory to Business. I showed my mom, and then she was like, it would have been nice if you got a B for that course, but at least you're not going to fail. My mom was really worried about me failing the first semester because apparently the being kicked out rate, not just for the university I go to, but like college kids in general, for the first few semesters are the most likely when someone's able to get kicked out. So basically, that was out of the way. And then when my dad got home from work that day, I showed him I was finally able to create a really cool diagram. I think it was a diagram. One of the assignments had a diagram of a circle with a square for web development and such. And he seemed pretty impressed. So I was like, okay, you know what? I think I finally got a handle on this final exam tomorrow. So the following day, I woke up at 7:15. My dad gave me a breakfast, I think, of sausage, bacon, and bread with peanut butter on it. It tasted all right, yeah. I went and took the exam, and I was done. Now I'm recapping what happened on my semester break. So yeah, I was done, basically. So I was done for the term. Then, yeah, I got home. I probably played a few games. I know that. For dinner, we went. My family and I, we went out to this Korean barbecue restaurant. It looked really small on the outside, but when you went inside, it was like a really nice atmosphere. We sat on a carpet that looked like this, and then a table that looked like this and such. And then we ate it was almost like in the form of shabu shabu. And we had we just dipped the beef in like hot pot and such, hot pot sauce and all that. Then I think at one point, we paid, then we left. And I think at one point at home, my mom said to me like something about for the next semester, sleeping 6 to 7 hours a day. I was like, yeah, nah, I don't know about that. So yeah, on the 17th, I just relaxed. On Monday, December 18th, I discovered a new anime show on Netflix. It was called Your Lie in April, and I loved it. It was I don't remember. No, the main character's name was Kusei. The girl's name, he had a lover named Kaori. I loved it, and I watched it. I watched like 6 episodes of it that day. Then but then that night I got so tired. It was like 1 a.m. So I fell asleep on the couch. My mom had to wake me up the next morning because I forgot to set up my alarm. It was like, why don't you just sleep in your bed? And she gave me a lecture about something like melatonin, because like of the substance and such when you don't sleep in a dim room or something. So then on the 19th, I continued watching Your Lie in April. I played some Commando 2 Flash game. And then, I realized that I got a B- for my English course. And then I was like, at first I was like, oh, wow, B-. I was like, wow, that's not bad considering everything that happened. And I kind of BS'd on a few points in the exam last week. And then I went to see my final grade. I remember it was 70.38%, and I got a 66.5% on that exam. And I was like, at first I was like, okay, so a B- I thought would be 73 to 78, because from in high school, like a B consisted of grades 73 to 85. But then I was like, no, so I was in the B- area. So I was like, oh, okay, I'm glad it's not a C+. So then, that night on the 19th at around, I think it was almost 9 p.m., my friend Jacob sent me a message. At this point, I haven't really gotten to know Jacob. We hung out a few times and such, but we didn't really hang out as much as I would have hoped to. And then he said, "Hey Brent, you wanna hang out you wanna hang out like on Thursday or Saturday?" And then I'm like, "Sure." And then he's like, "Okay, what do you want to do?" And I said, "Hey, let's go watch a movie at New Westminster." And then like he's like, "Anything in mind? Do you want to watch Star Wars or Jumanji?" I chose Star Wars because at the time I had no clue what Jumanji was. It came out on Netflix recently, and I was able to see the thumbnail. But I was like, "Yeah, we watched Star Wars." I chose Star Wars. Yes. Uh, then on the 20th, I was almost done watching Your Lie in April. At 3 o'clock, my mom sounded a bit panicked. She's like, Brent, you have to go to Kumon. You have to go to work. I'm like, yes, I'm on vacation, but I still have to go to work. Dang it. So then I took the bus and made it to work just in time that day. So then when I got home, on the 20th, the night of the 20th at 8 something p.m., I finished Your Lie in April. Now, my friend Alex, back in April of 2017, told me that anyone who watches to the ending of Your Lie in April is going to cry. And I'm not going to spoil the ending for you because I don't know if you've watched that anime or not. But like, I didn't exactly cry, but I felt a really sense of sad emotion in my chest. Like, I remember that ending specifically, and it's like I was hoping for a happy ending, but you know what? A lot of stories don't have happy endings, both in real life and in fiction. And yeah, it's like, and that's the thing. Like, I like to point out that I'm a guy. It's very hard for someone to make me cry. Like, I don't know why. It's like I don't really feel that a lot of emotion. Like that one, it was a good one. It almost made me cry, but I didn't feel a sense of tear. It was getting there. I'd say about a 60 or 70%. Yeah. You call me heartless, but whatever. On Thursday, December 21st, I met up with Jacob, my friend Jacob. I think it was around 11:30 a.m. It was at Lougheed. I took a SkyTrain to Lougheed, and then we met up, and then we went to we took the SkyTrain to New Westminster and watched Star Wars. I think I fell asleep in that movie. I'm not sure. If I did, I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah, and then we had a really good time. I think around 2:42 when like we were heading back home, and then in the Lougheed SkyTrain station, a homeless guy asked for me and Jacob for some money, like a beggar. And then Jacob offered him a bit of food, but then he wanted some money from me. And then he's like, "Can you give me $21? I'll give you $8 in exchange." I'm like, that doesn't make sense. I'm like, no, I'm sorry. Plus, my friend Jacob already gave him food and such. So yeah. On Friday, December 22nd, 2017, I finally decided to start making YouTube videos for this channel in general. I remember it was a sunny day on the 22nd. It was a cloudy day on Thursday, the 21st. On that particular day, let's see. So I wanted to make a video, but I didn't really know any editing software programs and such. And so, and I finally found one. It was called Filmora. So I recorded my introductory video. At the time, I didn't know how to really get views, followers, or subscribers. I still don't really know, but I'm trying. But at that time, on Friday, December 22nd, 2017, I was, I made my video introducing myself. And like I said, hey, I want to try a game. I want to try me not to reveal my face for this first 6 months and see if people would be curious as to finding out who I was, basically. So I revealed the video, posted, and on the Filmora, I added a song. It was called Paper Planes by Victoria Duffield. And I uploaded the video. I'm thinking, oh boy, I'm so nervous because it's probably good. Videos that are public probably go viral right away. Little did I know that video barely broke 3 views. Oh man. And you can watch it. It's still on my channel. It's the very first video that I posted. I was like, oh boy, that is interesting. And then I was like, you know what? Forget about it. Like I felt really demotivated when I saw there were very few views. I didn't know that at the time before I started making my own YouTube channel and lived in a box. Well, I still live in a box, but it has a tiny inch more light than 4 years ago. I thought any video that's public will instantly gain a lot of views. That's what I thought at the time. So I was like, oh, I'm really shocked. And then I was like, yeah, whatever. So I just left it behind. Then on Saturday, December 23rd, I went to work. And after work, I purchased a can of green. I purchased 2 amp powered energy drinks. I think it was 1 blue and 1 green, and the cost was $2.24. The cashier was someone I knew before. Yeah. On the, give me 1 second. On Sunday, December 24th, it was Christmas Eve. I just hung out with my family. We just stayed home. Nothing interesting happened. And then on Monday, December 25, let me think. Yeah, on Monday, December 25, it started snowing on Christmas Day. And yeah, I just stayed home. Everything was normal until lunch, when my family and I decided to go out for lunch and take our homestay named David with us. And then we went to, it was called Four Seasons restaurant. From what I know, this Chinese restaurant operates year round, and it doesn't really care about taking breaks on holidays. It was one of the few restaurants that were open on Christmas. So then we went in and it was packed. I think because a lot of the other restaurants are usually closed on Christmas. So then like, yeah, there were a lot of people. We waited 10 minutes to get seated. We had, I think there was this really nice seafood deal that was on for Christmas Day. And then we had it. And then I asked the waitress if I could get a milk tea. And then yeah, and then it costed $3.25, and then yeah, my parents were willing to let me have it. My mom even asked, hey David, would you like a milk tea too? Would you like anything? And then David was like, no, I don't need anything. They all got water instead. So yeah, and then we ate it. It was delicious. The bill came out to, I think it was $116 or $117. Yeah, and then when we got back, to celebrate, to spend some time together, my parents and I decided to watch a Netflix movie, and they got me to choose. And I was trimming through all of them until I came across one that was called The Punisher. I know Marvel made a movie called The Punisher, but I'm talking about the Punisher movie from 2004, the one that featured Frank Castle and John Travolta. Yeah, The Punisher seemed like a really cool movie. It seemed like The Punisher seemed like a really cool movie, yeah. And yeah, we decided to, I like John Travolta a lot, so we watched the movie. I'm not going to summarize every single detail of the what happened in The Punisher, because I want to trust that you guys will know that I have a good memory. Because if I summarize what that movie was about and every single detail of what happened, we'd be here until tomorrow morning. So we got it. I'm just going to mention a few words for you guys to know that I know what the movie's about. Harry Heck, Ballistic Knife, The Russian, Frank Castle, Howard Saint, John, Livia. If you don't know the movie, these words come across as meaningless to you. If you do know, well, you can trust that I have a good memory. Okay, so on, oh, and I think it was during or after we were watching the movie, my mom made a comment that anime was for little kids, and I got really angry, and I ran up to my room and slammed the door and such. And then my mom like came to comfort me. She's like, don't get angry so easily and such. It's like, I didn't know, like, okay, like, I'm sorry for saying that. So yeah, I really liked anime, guys, just for the record. The 26th, it was Boxing Day. I really don't know what happened on that day. The 27th, no, drawing a blank. The 28th, I don't know. On Friday, December the 29th, like I said, these days I was just relaxing. And then at around 8 or 9 p.m., I played a game of Mario Kart. I think I played as Bowser and I called myself Bugs Meanie. The name Bugs Meanie came from a book called Encyclopedia Brown, I think. I read when I was in grade 5. I don't know, the last time I remember reading Encyclopedia Brown was Thursday, July 29, 2010. Yeah, so I really don't remember any details other than a few vague things. Then on December 30th, nothing happened. On December 31st, we had a big party for New Year's. People brought food. My mom invited a lot of her friends over. We had it. Oh, on the 28th, we also had like a party and such. Yeah, but on the 31st, this was an even bigger party. We had like our neighbors coming over. We had like a kid that was in grade 5 come over. I think it was my mom's friend's kid and such. My friend John came over with his little brother Ruben. Yeah, and yeah, we were doing really well actually. And then we were watching Ruben play a game of Super Mario Bros. I think it was the 2010 version. And then like I specifically remember this. Okay, so then Ruben was playing as Mario, and then he was like, at one point he did something like he jumped on 2 mushrooms and then spinned, and then we were like, oh, that's really impressive. And then 10 seconds later, his character Mario went to hit his head on a box that popped out an extra life. But then Ruben jumped, and before he could get to the mushroom, a Goomba showed up and touched him, and then he died, and we were laughing our asses off. Then, yeah, a little while later, John and Ruben left, and another guy, Victor, showed up, and I decided to play a game of Wii Monopoly with the remaining people that were there. I was paired with Victor, and we were, and I think the 5th grader kid was also playing too, plus a girl named Christine. And then we were playing, I remember I named myself, me and Victor, as winners. And it was ironic because me and Victor were the first to go bankrupt in Monopoly. And yeah, it was, yeah, funny. All right, so a few days later, we went back to school. So all right, that concludes my entire recap of the entire semester of fall 2017 from start to finish, all the details I could remember. So yeah, let me know how you felt about my memory. A comment if you want to see more of this. I'd love to stay, but for now, I gotta jump. I'll see you guys on the other side of the bridge. Catch you next time.